I'm Adele. Before you listen to my story, please click like and subscribe. As I lived in an orphanage, my biggest dream was to have a family. But that wasn't easy, especially with me being different. Yup, I looked cute and delicate on the outside, but physically, I was a real strong girl. One day, when I was 3, the warden called me to her room to meet the couple who wanted to adopt me. I was so happy when my potential dad came forward to shake hands. But suddenly, he yelled out that I was crushing his bones. Oh no! What did I do? I dropped his hand instantly and ran off. Needless to say, they didn't adopt me. Another time, it came so close, the couple was about to sign the papers. Just then, a girl threw a ball at me. I caught it and threw it back at her, but it went flying straight into my future mom's face.
Ouch!
This way, I kept ruining my own adoption chances for years. When I was 10, I sadly watched 2 of my roommates getting adopted, and one of them said to me,
I know you want a family too. There's one thing you can do for it. Try not being yourself when that day comes. You know what I mean?
She was right. If my extreme strength was the only thing stopping me from getting a family, I had to hide it inside. Then one day, another couple arrived, and they seemed just perfect. I crossed my hands behind my back, determined not to mess up this time. To my great surprise, they walked up to me and picked me. Yippee! I'd finally found a family, and surprisingly, they already had a daughter my age. Polly looked delighted to see me and immediately hugged me tight. But the second my parents left, she pushed me away.
Ew! Get off, you orphan! Don't spoil my Gucci dress. Ugh! You probably don't even know what Gucci is! Who knows what kind of slum you were born in?
I stood in shock, but then I saw a bee buzzing near Polly's neck. I pushed her away with force and she just flew. I tried to hold her and stop her, but I accidentally tore her shirt.
Ugh! How dare you, you moron! I'm gonna kick your butt back to your rat hole now!
What? No! I didn't want to go back. I told her about my real strength, apologized, and requested her not to say anything to her parents. And she agreed, but on one condition. I had to do whatever she said. I decided to go by that. Soon, I got enrolled in Polly's school, and when the teacher asked who the new student was, I stood up to introduce myself. Hi, I'm
Polly's maid!
Excuse me? No, I think you're mistaken. I'm no maid. I'm A. Then I saw Polly looking at me with wicked eyes. I pursed my lips and sat down. Later, when I was having lunch in the cafeteria, she came with a bunch of girls and asked me to get up. Why? You want to sit here? I don't mind. You guys can all join me. They all laughed.
Nonsense! Who'd want to sit with a garbage bag for lunch? I just came to tell you to clean my lunchbox. Come on, hurry up!
And she threw her lunchbox at me. Ugh, I had to teach this dumbhead a lesson. That night, when she was sleeping, I lifted one side of her bed with my hands and dropped it down so hard she screamed like some kid in a horror movie. It was hilarious, but she just kept torturing me. The only thing she couldn't ruin was my studies. Yeah, I was so good at it. By the time I was in 11th grade, the teacher announced that I was getting an international university scholarship to study in China.
I'm so proud of you, Adele. I really wonder how Polly could be your sister.
The class cracked up, and I knew that made Polly grow even madder. On our graduation day, I was waiting off stage, getting ready to make my speech. Just then, Polly popped up and whispered,
Hey, Adele, my friend said the day is boring, so let's make your speech fun. I'll teach you. Just say, I'm Adele. I'm in love with the basketball captain. Thanks, and get lost. Nothing else. Got it?
What? No way, I can't do that.
Really? Too bad. I thought you wanted a family.
Ugh, fine. And I went up, but I said something that shook her. Hi, I'm Polly's sister, and I'm gonna say something on her behalf now. Polly has a crush on the school head girl, and she said she won't live without her. So guys, let's all join hands in uniting these lovebirds. The whole auditorium echoed with laughter. I was told to immediately leave the stage, but the satisfaction I got out of it was priceless. I went home that evening, expecting her to burst out. But to my shock, she had locked herself up in her room and wouldn't open it. I asked my parents, but they had no idea. The next morning at breakfast, all my parents were talking about was my scholarship and how they were going to miss me.
Oh, honey, I'm just so happy we adopted you. We're so proud.
Oh, Really? Now you're proud of her? Then why did you throw her away like garbage when she was born? And why didn't you tell me she was my frickin' twin sister? Anyway, send her back. I don't want her.
Wait, what did she just say? I'm her twin? I couldn't believe it. But then she threw a paper on my face. It was my birth certificate, and my adopted parents' names were there, which meant they're my real family. I flipped the dining table up angrily, and they all looked ghost-struck. Why? Why did you give up on me? Do you know how much I suffered all my life? Everyone called me a dumb orphan when I'm really not one. Now I think I was better as an orphan. God, it sucks to be standing here. I'm not putting up with your devil daughter or your lying faces anymore. I'm out of here forever.
Adele, please, listen. It's true. You are our real daughter, but we just...
Sweetie, we weren't financially stable then to raise twins, so we had to give one up. But now that we are rich enough for the two of you, we took you back. We're sorry.
But I wasn't having it. How could they even do that to me? And Polly. She'd been the worst twin sister anyone could get. Thankfully, I had my scholarship, and I just flew away to China as fast as I could. There, I stayed in the hostel on the college campus. Adapting to a new place was a bit difficult at first. The food, the people, everything was different. But college started off on a good note. All the scholarship students were called onto the stage on the first day and appreciated by everyone. Soon, we had our freshers party, and my roommates took me shopping to get some cool dresses. As I was trying on a dress, a girl with glasses barged in. I immediately covered myself and yelled at her. Geez, are you out of your mind? Where are your manners? You should—
Shush, please, I'm sorry. I'm just hiding from someone. Ugh, my mom. She wants me to wear this ridiculous dress with antique frills and lace for my freshers' party.
I stood confused, but then her mom suddenly opened the door too.
God, oh dear, I heard you. You're still my little kitty playing peekaboo. Ha, come on, let's try out this dress now.
Ugh, I got mad at both of them. I quickly put on my dress and kicked the door open, but gosh, it broke open and flew off. I ran out. Later, I got to know the girl with the glasses was Fen, my classmate. I bumped into her at the freshers' party again, and she freaked out seeing me.
Oh God, you! I'm sorry. Sorry. Please don't hurt me, the way that you kicked down that door.
And she literally knelt down with tears. Hey, stop! I don't want anyone knowing about that, all right? Can you keep this a secret?
I will. I'll do anything. And I'm sorry for my mom again. She's just... You won't understand. 'Cause your mom's probably not that type.
Let's not talk about that. And hey, looks like you aren't wearing the frills and lace dress. We laughed, talked, danced, and had so much fun. Then she invited me over to her house for dinner. And honestly, I loved her mom. She was so nice and attentive. One day, when we were at the cafeteria, Fen's mom ran inside like crazy, shouting both our names. Fen shrieked and dragged her mom outside. I ran after her, shouting, "Hey, Fen, stop! Don't drive her away or I'm gonna kick you! Now!" They both stopped and stared at me. She's your mom! Not everyone is lucky enough to have one all their life. Please don't shoo away her love. Her mom burst into tears and hugged me. She'd brought lunch for me too, and promised she'd bring it every day. Days passed. I got letters and phone calls from my real parents sometimes, but I totally ignored them and focused on my studies. One day, as I was going to class, I saw Fen on the ground. She was standing with folded hands in front of two boys who were swinging her glasses in the air. What were they doing to her? I ran fast to them and yelled, "Hey you! What do you want from my friend?"
Friend, that's so funny. Mom always says that weirdos stick together.
"Oh, we do! Mama's boy!" Saying that, I took Fen's hand and started walking away. It got on the boys' nerves. They held my bag and pulled me back. I was fuming already. I just slapped him, breaking at least 2 of his teeth. Fen was so happy. She hugged me tight and took me home that evening, telling her mom about all that had happened.
Oh, Adele, how can I thank you? You know, Fen's been bullied a lot since her school days. There was never a day she came back home without tears. But now she comes home every day and talks happily about you.
That's not a big deal, Auntie. All she needs is some support to stand up. You're making me feel like I'm her big sister.
That's why I brought you here today. Adele, I told my mom about you, and she wanted to give you something you deserve. A family. Would you mind being a part of us forever?
Oh, are you guys saying this for real? I mean, this is a very big decision. You don't have to do this, because I don't want to be a burden. And after all I've been through, I'm far from trusting people, you know? But Fen and her mom were sure of what they were saying. They asked me to take as much time as I wanted to think about it. I thanked them and left for my room. That night, I couldn't help but think about my real family. I still had my mom's number, and I called her. She was so happy to hear from me that she burst into tears. Just stop crying and listen, please. I didn't call you to say I miss you. In fact, I'm so happy here with some good, honest people. I even found a real mom and a sister who truly love me. They're ready to take me in with them forever. I'm gonna say yes. She just said no and cried out loud. I knew she felt really bad. But what they all did to me was beyond forgiveness. I hung up the phone. After the weekend, I was getting ready for class. Just then, a girl informed me that I had some visitors. I went out to see. It was Dad, Mom, and Polly. What are you guys doing here? Mom ran to me and hugged me tight. Dad had teary eyes too. They both apologized once again.
Please consider taking us back, darling. You're our treasure. I regret giving you up every minute.
What are you looking at? Polly, why did I drag you here?
I don't know what to say. I've been a horrible sister. No apology can fix that. But Adele, I feel really bad for everything I did to you. Please forgive me and come back.
She cried. I'd never seen her do that. I went close and hugged her. They all tried to convince me, but I didn't make any promises. My life is good here. I'm going to study more and make my own future. I can forgive you now, but I'm not sure I have the same feelings I had for you before. I'm letting time decide further. I knew I wasn't ready for a family then. I just went back to my college life and friendship.
Hi, I'm Larissa, and I know what you're thinking. She looks nothing like her family. That's because I was adopted when I was a baby. I was born in Romania, and I might have taken that small piece of trivia a little too seriously. Oh, I can't water the plants. Romanians are allergic to the sun. Does this broccoli have garlic on it? Romanians don't eat garlic, Mommy. But I have to sleep inside this cardboard box. It's a Romanian thing. You won't get it.
That's a vampire thing, doofus. They'll sleep in a bed like a proper human being, child. God, you're so dumb.
I wasn't dumb. I was quirky and cute. But Andre was right. I just never seemed to make the smartest choices. Andre wasn't only my brother. He was also my best bud growing up. He was super smart and solved math equations in his sleep. But he was really awkward and hated outdoor activities. Come out, Andre. Look at all these butterflies coming out of their raccoons.
It's cocoons, and no thank you. You know they start off as icky caterpillars, right?
Quit being such a party pooper and come play with me. But Andre just stayed inside. I chased the butterflies and didn't realize when I ended up rather far from home. I was about to find my way back when suddenly this weird woman came out of nowhere and started showering me with kisses. You! Get your germy lips off of me! I'm warning you, I know Kung Fu!
Larissa, I'm your aunt! I know your real mother. She wants to meet you at the ice cream shop.
My what now? I didn't really care about finding my real family. I was happy with the one I had. But since ice cream was involved, I was suddenly curious. I was about to get into her van when suddenly a couple of police cars came screeching to a stop before us, and the officers arrested my aunt. They took me to the station with them, and moments later, Mom and Dad came running in and hugged me super tight.
Oh, Larissa, thank God you're safe. You can't go so far from home.
That woman is a kidnapper the police have been trying to catch. She works at the adoption agency and picks up adopted kids for ransom money. Luckily, they caught her in time.
Whoa! The psycho woman was jailed for 25 years. But from that day on, my parents were attached to me like my shadow and treated me like a porcelain doll. They wrapped me up in bubble wrap when I wanted to jump on the trampoline. They put me on a baby leash when we went out in public. They even missed Andre's science fairs and chess matches because they couldn't trust anyone to babysit me.
You only have yourself to blame. Who's dumb enough to just walk off with a random stranger?
Me, of course. I was nothing special. I had no brains and no passion. Most of the time I felt a little lost. But one day, I saw this 16-year-old Russian swimmer, Mariana, win a gold medal on TV. And my whole life changed. I had posters of her all over my room and even bought all of her merchandise. I was obsessed. I want to be just like Mariana. She's a year older than me, and she's achieved so much.
But swimming is dangerous, sweetie. You could slip and hit your head.
I could do that in the kitchen, too.
We should baby-proof the kitchen.
What? No, I'm not a baby. Please, will you just let me try something for once? I'm sick of staying at home. I begged and whined and threw a couple of tantrums, and finally, they agreed to take me to a kiddie pool. Whatever. I was determined to make the best of it. And when I entered the water, it felt like I was finally in my element. I aced all the lessons and turned out to be a natural. Within a year, I joined the high school swim team and even won a local competition. And Mom and Dad finally stopped freaking out like headless chickens. Then I started 10th grade, and things just went bonkers. On the very first day, I was rushing to the shower when I slipped and went crashing into a girl. I am so sorry. Oh my God! What? You're Mariana! Am I dreaming? Ouch! This is definitely real. I am such a huge fan.
Oh, really? Is that why you tried to injure me?
What? It was an accident.
Huh, I doubt it. I eat jealous little wannabes like you for breakfast. Now stay out of my way or I'll crush you.
What a diva! I found out from the head coach that Mariana was recovering from an injury at the local state-of-the-art medical center and would be attending our high school while she was here. Just my luck. The universe sent my idol to my school, and she already hates me. I tried to do damage control and got her some welcome flowers and cheesecake, but she started sneezing and gagging and threw everything in the trash.
Are you trying to sabotage me? I'm lactose intolerant and allergic to roses.
How was I supposed to know that?
You said you were my fan and you don't know this? Some fan you are.
I was just trying to be nice.
Nice gets you nowhere. Work on your swimming instead, loser.
Okay, that's enough. I know you're an international champion, but you can't treat me like this. I really admired you, but now I can say you're just a brat with a swollen head. Get over yourself.
Ha! You wish you could be me! I have more talent in my injured little toe than you have in your whole entire body.
You can put your entire foot in your mouth, because at the next swim meet, I'm gonna beat you.
I accept the challenge. Although it's hardly a challenge. Ha 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 ha.
I was pumped. I trained extra hard and spent so much time in the pool, I started looking like a wrinkly old grandma. But on the day of the swim meet, Mariana spilled an entire bottle of conditioner on me right before the start.
Oops, I'm so sorry. Your skin looked like it needed it.
I was fuming. I took another quick shower, but I was super late. And when the whistle blew, I was so out of it that I flopped into the water like a dying fish. I lost badly, and Mariana sailed through the water gracefully, like a swan. But what she did next shocked the bubbly farts right out of me. Mariana stepped off the stage after taking her prize and kissed Andre. Hey, what the heck are you doing to my brother? Stand behind me, Andre. I'll protect you from this soul-sucking mermaid.
Larissa, Andre has told me so much about you. We met in the library the other day, and I said I was craving some Russian pastries. He got me some the very next day. Andre is a real gentleman.
And you're a real lady.
What was happening? Fred looked genuinely happy, but Mariana was bad news. The way she'd swam earlier, it didn't look like she was injured at all. But before I could confront her, they left. What a bunch of love-struck jerks. I was so depressed, I spent a couple of hours at my favorite ice cream shop eating my feelings. But once the banana splits were gone, I headed home. And to my surprise, I saw Mariana across the street. She was dressed like some weird spy and went inside a dirty-looking alley. I followed her and saw that she was buying a weird packet from some homeless dude. Hey, what you got there, bestie?
Did you hit your head on that dive? I am not your bestie.
Is it Russian candy? Is it a wig? Or is it a whole new personality you use only when Andre's around?
It's your brother's heart, and it's all mine.
She was a piece of work and super suspicious. I wanted to follow her, but I was already late. Mom and Dad would probably send a SWAT team after me. So that night, I borrowed Andre's laptop and did some research. I found a few articles about Mariana's injury, but then I found a creepy Reddit thread about athletes using performance-enhancing pills. I was shocked. Is that how Mariana had swum so well in the competition with an injury? I had to find out. But the next day, I walked into school and everyone was talking about Mariana and Andre like they were a celebrity couple. Andre, of all people, was popular. He suddenly had this confidence I'd never seen before. It was kinda awesome. But Mariana was ruining swimming for me.
We've decided I'll take your place on the swim team for regionals.
What? You can't do that. You're not even a permanent student. Aren't you supposed to be injured and resting? Coach!
I'm sorry, Larissa. We have a chance to compete with an international gold medalist on our team, and she seems strong enough now.
I I was so mad, I tore up all of her posters from my room and trashed all the merchandise. All I'd wanted to be was noticed by my idol, but she just turned out to be a massive jerk. I was gonna bring her down if it was the last thing I did.
Hey, Mariana told me what happened. It was really sweet of you to give her your place. She really needed this.
I didn't give up anything. Your evil girlfriend pushed me out. Swimming is the only thing I'm good at, but she couldn't even let me have it.
Look, I know you're hurt, but she's a good person.
It's all an act. She's only pretending to be your girlfriend to get under my skin.
Yes, Larissa, I'm sure. My relationship is all about you. Everything is always about you. The only reason a girl could want to be with me is to get back at you. Not because I have anything worth liking. Right?
Wow! I didn't know you were so desperate to be liked. You'll defend the devil herself. Some brother you turned out to be. I hated the look of hurt in Andre's eyes, but I was just so mad. The next day, I sneaked into the gym and went through Mariana's locker. And I found the package she'd taken from the man in the alley, and it had pills inside. I ran to the head coach and showed him everything. Mariana went ballistic.
They aren't what you think. I'm not a cheat.
Then explain how your injury healed so quickly. You're lying, Mariana, and I have proof.
Stop this, Larissa. You don't know what you're talking about.
No! For once, I'm the smart one and you're being dumb. She played you with her big eyes and pretty face. She's just a cheating witch.
Stop calling me that!
And then she pushed me into the water. The head coach insisted on getting her tested, and she went bananas. She started ripping up pool noodles with her teeth and threw swimming flippers at the students like a mad person. 2 coaches had to drag her away, and she was suspended during the investigation. But I wasn't even happy about it. My teammates were mad at me for being a sneak. Andre wasn't talking to me, and Mariana. All the blood work came out clear. Turns out the pills were special Russian vitamins. But she was so messed up with all the media attention and headlines, she completely failed at the regionals. I felt like a total jerk. It was time for me to apologize. Hey, I'm sorry about the whole mix-up.
As if your plan worked. I lost the competition and my reputation. Now you can have your perfect life back.
Perfect? My life is not perfect. My adoptive family is the bomb. But I've always felt a bit lost since I was a kid. Swimming makes me feel like I belong. And you took that away from me.
Yes, I did, because I'm better at it, and it's good for the team. But Andre was right. You're a selfish, spoiled brat who only thinks about herself.
I was so mad. I slapped her hard across the cheek. We were rolling around on the floor, fighting like cats, when suddenly Andre came in between.
What the heck is wrong with you two?
She started it. She's always hated me.
That's enough. I love you both, but this needs to stop.
You love me? Are you okay? Do you have brain fever?
Stop it. Larissa! After all these years, I've taken a back seat while Mom and Dad obsessed over you. I thought you'd be okay with me being the center of attention for once.
It was true. Mom and Dad always went out of their way to make me happy and keep me safe. They hardly ever talked about Andre. I was selfish and felt terrible for not realizing it before.
And Mariana, you can't blame Larissa for jumping to conclusions when she doesn't know the truth.
What truth? Suddenly Mariana looked so sad it broke my heart.
My family had to flee Russia. Some really bad men were after my father, and I had to fake an injury so they would give us quick visas to come to America for my medical treatment. Now, I can never go back, and I can never swim for another country if I want to keep my family safe. That's why I wanted to be part of the swim team so badly.
But that doesn't explain why you're so mean and horrible.
It's all I knew. In Russia, you don't become a champion by being nice and sweet. You have to be really tough and fight for your place. It will be a hard habit to break, but I see you all as competition, especially you. You're good.
She said it reluctantly, but she said it, and I was on cloud 9. Aw, that's all I ever wanted to hear from you.
You, get away from me or I'll take the words back.
You can't take it back. Now you think I'm good, and we'll be on the same team together. It's gonna be epic.
Is your sister crazy? What is wrong with her? Why is she so huggy?
She's just really happy, and so am I.
Hi, I'm Olivia from Florida. Please like and subscribe. My mom always told me the day I was born was quite an exciting one. At the hospital, when she held me for the first time, she gasped at my eyes. They were midnight blue in the center, with a light blue ring outside. The nurses were stunned too, and, well, a bit confused.
Blue eyes are rare, and you both have brown eyes. Quite unusual.
What are you trying to say, woman? You think this isn't our child? Did you cause a mix-up in the nursery?
No, of course not, sir. I was only saying...
How about you keep your useless opinions to yourself? Her eyes are nothing special to talk about.
And for some reason, it always really annoyed him when people noticed and talked about my eyes, which was every time they met me. And as I grew older, I started realizing that I had a strange power. I could get what I wanted using my eyes. Let me give you an example. Once, when I was 6, I went with my parents to their friend's house who had twins my age. I could tell the boy was really sweet, but the girl didn't like me much. When she left the room for a while, the boy climbed onto her bunk bed and returned with a beautiful doll.
Her eyes are just like yours. I think you should have her.
Oh, wow. Really? Thank you so much.
Hey, thief, you can't have my doll.
But your brother gave it to me. It even looks like me.
It's not his, it's mine. And it looks nothing like you. Witch, let go.
I pulled harder, and suddenly the doll's head snapped off. The girl burst into tears and went running to her parents. Oh boy, I'd be in so much trouble with Dad. Suddenly, I looked deep into the boy's eyes.
And that's what he said, word for word.
The girl's parents apologized to me and scolded her. Over time, I just couldn't help using my eyes more often to get my way. Sometimes I knew it was wrong, but it was just too easy. I only had to look at people with my big baby blues, and teachers would help me. During exams, people would give up their seats on the bus, and if someone got the last hot dog at lunch before me, they were sure to surrender it. By the time I was in high school, I was quite popular with the boys and had my girl gang too. But I knew I wasn't well liked by the mean girls, especially the head cheerleader, Emma. She was the girl whose doll I'd broken as a kid, and she hated me since one day in 9th grade, a group of cheerleaders and jocks in the cafeteria were talking about a cool new movie they were going to watch that weekend. It sounded like fun, and I wanted an invite, so I walked straight up to this boy, Zach. Hey guys, I was wondering if I could tag along to the movies with you this weekend. Zach hesitated, and then he looked directly into my eyes. I knew what his answer would be.
Of course, Olivia.
Thanks, Zach. You're a sweetheart.
Did you just invite her to the movies without asking any of us?
What's the big deal? I don't think anyone has a problem.
The rest just shrugged, and Emma glared at me before storming off. I was still grinning when I walked over to my locker later, and I found her waiting there.
You're not going to the movies? No way. I don't care what Zach said. You're uninvited.
What are you going to do? Ban my entry into the cinema? You can't. So I'll see you there. I turned to leave, but she knocked my books out of my hand and stepped on them. I grabbed her by the hair, and we broke into a cat fight. We both ended up in the principal's office.
And she immediately called our parents.
I didn't do anything. She started it.
I hadn't even touched her. She pulled my hair.
The principal also called in a few witnesses from the hallway, and luckily for me, it was a bunch of boys I knew. I only had to look at them, and they all said Emma was to blame.
No way. She can't get away with everything just by batting her dumb eyes. She looks like an angel, but she's a lying witch who has everyone dancing to her tune.
But Emma got detention while I was let off with just a warning. On the car ride home, though, Mom and Dad were really quiet. But Emma got detention while I was let off with just a warning. On the car ride home, though, Mom and Dad were really quiet.
You've always tried to get your way by manipulating people ever since you were a kid. Now it seems worse than I thought.
Okay, so people are sometimes nice to me and do what I ask. What's so wrong with that?
We'll talk about this tomorrow. You are grounded for a week.
What? Why the heck?
Olivia, enough. You heard what your dad said.
But the next morning, I found them waiting for me in the dining room with a small box on the table. What's this?
Something to cover up your eyes. You need to learn that life isn't so easy, and you can't just get whatever you want.
Inside the box were brown contact lenses. They were the color of mud. Are you kidding me? You think I'm going to wear those?
You have to wear them if you want to continue going to school.
With angry tears, I grabbed the box and ran out of there. It took me a few tries to wear the contacts, but I finally managed, and I hated what I saw staring back at me in the mirror. It wasn't me. At school, I was hoping by some miracle no one would notice, but of course, everyone did.
Why are your eyes suddenly brown? Did your evil spell finally wear off once you got all your wishes?
Everyone's comments made things hard because it felt really embarrassing to say my dad was making me wear brown lenses. I made up some lame excuse about how the doctor had recommended them for an eye condition, but it didn't seem to convince anyone. And suddenly, no one seemed to care about me much. Luckily, a month later, Dad's job caused him to transfer to another state. A fresh start was exactly what I needed. No one in school there would ever know I had blue eyes before. But it was quite strange walking into this new place and not having anyone pay much attention to me. My classmates seemed pleasant enough, but everyone just went off with their groups at lunch. I was sitting outside having lunch under a tree when someone dropped down next to me.
Hello, mind if I join you?
You already have, and I don't mind at all.
Good, because I'm too tired to get up anyway.
Plus, I've been waiting for someone new to show up for ages. All these other girls just talk about boys and makeup, and they think they're from another planet. Or they think I'm from another planet. Her name was Grace, and I warmed up to her instantly. We quickly became close friends, but I just couldn't tell her my stupid secret. A few weeks later, we were sitting on the gym floor, making decorations for an event, when some guys started playing basketball. And suddenly, the ball came flying at me and hit me smack in the face. I opened my eyes, and looking down at me was a gorgeous boy with black hair and the deepest blue eyes ever had. I died and gone to heaven.
Hey, are you okay?
Of course she's not okay, you moron. You could have killed my best friend.
Grace pulled me up, but my knees gave way, and the boy swept me up effortlessly. He carried me to the bleachers and said he'd be back with some water.
Olivia, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I see. Yeah, you aren't fine. And if he has his way, you never will be again.
What do you mean? Just then, the boy returned with a water bottle and knelt beside me.
Really sorry. We should have been more careful.
Oh, don't worry. I don't mind. I mean, it's just a ball, not a rocket. Now that would hurt. I don't know what I'm saying. Maybe I have a concussion, but I'm okay. O-Y-A-K. See? I can still spell. He just smiled at me and ran off to his friends. What a blubbering idiot. I turned to Grace and saw she'd already left. Later that night, I got permission from my parents to stay over at Grace's. So tell me, what do you know about the gym boy?
That's Levi. He's my older brother.
You're what now?
Yeah, I know. Different set of genes. But Olivia, he's a heartbreaker. He changes girlfriends faster than he changes underwear. He knows he's good looking, and he uses it to make girls like him. And then bam, 2 weeks later, some girl is crying in the school bathroom and he's got a new girlfriend.
Really? But he seems sweet.
How would you know? He's my brother, and I'm telling you, he's a jerk.
Is he here, like, right now?
Yeah. But you don't want to talk to him, right? You're here to have a slumber party with me, and I just told you.
He's a jerk. Right. Gotcha.
But I couldn't get Levi off my mind.
Grace messaged me on Monday that she had the flu and wasn't coming to school, and I decided this was a great chance to talk to her brother. On the bus, I was thinking about what I'd say to him when someone sat down next to me.
Sorry, seats in the back are full.
Holy lady luck! It was Levi! But it seemed like he hadn't recognized me and just started reading a book. What you readin'? He turned the cover to me without looking my way. Oh, nice. I've never read that.
Okay, good to know.
Wow, he did seem like a bit of a jerk, but I wasn't giving up yet. If it's good, maybe I'll read it. I'm the girl from the gym, by the way. The one you hit with the basketball.
I know that. I didn't have memory loss. It's just that you're Grace's BFF and she told me to stay away from you.
That's strange. She didn't say anything to me. And why can't we all be friends? Grace was down with some virus and couldn't attend school for 2 weeks, and I ended up spending all my time with Levi. He was gorgeous, but he was also funny and thoughtful, and I just couldn't help liking him. And I had a feeling he liked me too. But when Grace returned, she was furious seeing us together.
So what? You've replaced me with Levi now?
Of course I haven't. You weren't here, and we just started hanging out.
And now you're in love with him, aren't you? Even after what I said? Doesn't take anyone too long to fall in love with Levi. He gets anything he wants.
I was upset that Grace was mad, but I didn't want to give up on Levi either. Later that day, as I was running an errand, I passed by a cafe window and stopped in my tracks. Levi was sitting there with some blonde girl I'd never seen before. He suddenly spotted me, and I started walking away quickly.
Olivia, please stop. It's not what it looks like.
It's none of my business, Levi, so no need to explain. I obviously misread some signs. You should go back to your girlfriend. 2 weeks, and it's time for a new girl. Yeah, just like Grace said.
She said what?
That you're a heartbreaker, and that you change girls faster than clothes, and that I should stay away from you.
Olivia? She made that up. Okay, I went out with her best friend a year ago, but things ended badly between us. She blocked out Grace, too, and moved away. And it broke Grace's heart. In fact, That girl in the cafe is my ex. She's in town and wanted to return some things. You didn't misread any signs. I like you a lot and I was planning to ask you to the winter dance.
I need to talk to Grace first. Okay. I had a heart-to-heart with Grace, and she admitted that she'd lied about Levi.
I know he's a good guy, but I don't want to lose another friend.
Pinky swear, no matter what happens between me and your brother, we'll stay friends forever. We decided to go shopping together for the winter dance, and I found a beautiful blue dress. As I looked in the dressing room mirror, I suddenly took my contacts out and called Grace.
What happened to your eyes?
I told her all about how I'd get whatever I wanted because of my eyes. So my parents made me cover them up.
That is ridiculous. They can't make you do that.
I know, but maybe it hasn't been the worst thing. I got you and Levi, and it has nothing to do with my eyes. But yeah, I think I just want to be myself now. When I got home, I walked into the lounge where my parents were watching TV.
What have you done?
I'm tired of covering up my real eyes. This is who I am, and I won't hide it anymore. I'm done with your controlling nonsense.
You'll do what I say as long as you live under my roof.
Then maybe I won't live under your roof. I went upstairs to gather my things so I could go stay at Grace's house when suddenly Mom came in.
I need to show you something.
She pulled out contacts from her eyes, and they were the brightest blue, just like mine.
Your dad hated the attention I attracted, and after we got married, he made me cover them up. But you're brave to stand up for yourself, and I don't want to let you down again. I'm leaving with you.
We packed our things and left Dad for good. We checked into a hotel until we could find a place. But for the first time, I saw Mom happy and free. The next day, I put on my blue dress for the dance, and Levi came to pick me up.
Grace told me about your eyes. You look beautiful.
You think so?
Yeah. But no matter what color they are, I think that anyway.
While Mom was at work, I crept into her bedroom and searched her closet and all her drawers for evidence of something. I lifted up a blanket from her bed and almost had a heart attack. Hi, I'm Nancy from China. See, my mom, she was the prettiest girl in our whole town. She literally won the Chinese beauty pageant 5 years in a row and became rich from it. Everyone would stop her in the streets to tell her how beautiful she was. Best of all, Dad adored Mom to bits and was always showering her with gifts. And then I was born.
Oh, darling, she looks exactly like you. Same lips and cheeks.
You and Nancy should compete in pageants together when she gets older.
Well, that's exactly what we did. When I was 3, Mom and I competed in duo pageants, winning every time and soaking out the glory. Then one day, when I was 10, I was in my dressing room when I heard Mom had to be rushed to the hospital.
What's going on? Is she hurt?
It's her skin. It's become completely wrinkled and inflamed. The doctors think she has a rare and untreatable condition.
What do you mean untreatable? I want to see my mom. Now!
No, Nancy, the pageant is in 3 minutes. You'll have to go on without her.
I was totally powerless, but I did end up winning first prize. Sadly, everyone was too depressed to celebrate. Mom looked like a freaking 80-year-old with red lumps on her face.
It's obvious. I won't be able to compete with you anymore. Look at me.
Mom, don't talk that way. Hell will always be beautiful in my eyes.
Oh, spare me. Nancy, I don't want your pity. I felt so awful.
And as I continued competing in pageants, people constantly compared me to my mom, especially my grandma.
It's heartbreaking what happened to my daughter's skin. It's too upsetting for me to visit her these days. At least you look the way she used to.
Their comments made me furious. I could feel Mom's growing resentment. Worst of all, the tension was affecting my parents' relationship, and they started fighting all the time. Finally, when I was 16, my parents divorced. Mom got custody since she'd been my primary caretaker, and it was then I decided I'd had enough.
I don't want to be in pageants anymore, Mom. I only did them in the first place because of you. And I don't like how bitter and jealous you get every time I compete.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why would I be jealous of my own daughter?
Gee, good question. All I know is it just got worse as I got older.
I quit pageants, and then Mom decided to move to the US, which was a big adjustment. And as soon as we settled, she became even more of a nightmare to be around.
That's a disgusting amount of makeup.
But I'm just wearing lip gloss.
Well, you're wearing too much for a girl your age. Wash it off right this second. I don't understand how you can eat all those pancakes and not blow up like a balloon.
Enjoy it while you can. Luckily, my new school became much happier than my home life. One day at school, I asked around to see if I could get an English tutor, since I still wasn't comfortable with the language. All the kids recommended the same guy, someone named Gavin.
He tutors for volunteer hours so it won't cost you anything.
Plus, he's gorgeous. Every girl at school has a crush on him.
Oh, well, I'm not looking to date at the moment. I just want to pass my classes.
But when I met Gavin in the library that day, my heart skipped 10 beats. He looked like a storybook prince. How could I concentrate on homework with that smoke show up in my space?
Are you okay? Your cheeks are bright red and you look adorable.
I do not look adorable. I mean, can we get to work, please? My homework isn't going to do itself.
We sat down to study, and I had to admit, Gavin was as brilliant as he was handsome. But when I started doing my math homework, he kept staring at me with his twinkling dark eyes, which made me nervous.
So are you free to go out this weekend?
Excuse me? I don't want to go out at all. You're just here to tutor me.
I know, but I can't fight my attraction for you. I've never believed in love at first sight until now.
Seriously, does anyone fall for your cringy pickup lines?
Face it, Nancy. I'm smart, I'm funny, and I have great hair. You won't be able to resist me for long.
I couldn't help rolling my eyes at that. Maybe I should get a new tutor. Except that same week, I ended up getting an A on 2 exams.
See? I don't disappoint. Now will you go out with me?
Just because you helped me get a good grade doesn't mean I owe you anything.
Come on, just one date.
With that, Gavin pulled out 2 tickets from his pocket, and holy crud, they were too astounding. Sasha Concert, my favorite singer.
I've been saving these for someone special, Nancy.
Okay, I'll go, but only because I'm a huge Sasha fan. But this is not a date.
The night of the concert, Gavin came to pick me up at 6. But the second mom saw him, she looked furious and pulled me aside.
Where do you think you're going with that boy?
To Sasha's concert. I already told you I was going with a friend.
Please, do you really expect me to believe Mr. Heartthrob here is just a friend? He'll break your heart just like your father broke mine. You're not going to that concert.
But Sasha's my favorite singer, and you and I both know Dad didn't do anything wrong.
That comment made Mom so angry that she sent Gavin home and me up to my room. I was so mad I was shaking. Then suddenly I heard a noise from my bedroom. It was Gavin.
Hey, I think I'm stuck. You're gonna have to give me a hand.
Oh my God, are you trying to crawl into my room?
Well, you want to go to that concert, don't you? You said you're a huge fan, and if you can fit through this door, you probably won't get.
My heart fluttered as he smiled up at me. There wasn't any harm in going on a date with him, was there? So I crawled over and we went to the concert, and we're running over an hour late.
This is all Mom's fault. It's because of her. We left during rush hour. She's becoming even more of a train wreck since the divorce.
Your parents are divorced? Wow, small world.
Your parents are divorced too?
Well, actually, Mom left us a couple of days ago. She met some guy at work and is leaving my dad to be with him.
Wow, immense. So sorry.
It's fine, I'll get through it.
Gavin didn't seem to want to talk about it anymore. The concert was almost over when we arrived. But Gavin has an idea.
If we stood here, we would have time to listen to the last song.
The last song was a slow one, and I closed my eyes, swaying my shoulders in the wind.
I know your mom isn't perfect, but you sure are beautiful like her.
Ugh, I hate it when people compare me to my mom. Can I be my own person? I'm more than just a pretty face.
I know that. You also have pretty hair.
I slapped him right then, and he leaned in for a kiss. I felt fireworks between us. Then suddenly Gavin pulled away.
No, I can't do this.
What do you mean?
I don't want to fall for you. I'm scared of getting hurt. I don't want what happened to my parents to happen to us.
Dude, we're in high school. I'm gonna run off with some other guy. Your parents' failed relationship doesn't mean you have to live in fear.
But Gavin just said taking me to the concert was a mistake and started driving me home. I felt like such an idiot. Thankfully, Mom was in bed when I got home, and I fell asleep with no trouble. Then, at around 5 a.m., I felt someone's hands on my head. It was Mom.
Nancy goes back to sleep.
At that second, I spotted a pair of scissors in her hands.
What are you doing with those? And why are you holding a strand of my hair? Are you cutting my hair in my sleep?
I just need a couple of strands.
What? Why?
Please don't ask questions.
No, I will ask questions. You can't just cut my hair in my sleep without telling me why.
Watch your tone, young lady. I'm not doing anything wrong here. You need to learn to respect your elders and bite your tongue.
Mom stormed out of my room and slammed the door. She grounded me for a week, but I wasn't gonna let her scare me. While Mom was at work, I crept into her bedroom and searched her closet and all her drawers for evidence of something. Then finally, I lifted up a blanket from her bed and almost had a heart attack. On her bed was an open cardboard box with a pile of my hair strands. How long had she been collecting my hair? I wasn't sure what she was gonna do with it, but I knew one thing for sure. I needed to get away from her. I thought about booking a flight to China to go back and live with Dad. Except, what if he didn't allow me to? The next day at school, I was in the library, when suddenly I saw Gavin sitting across from me reading a book. Oh darn, I'd forgotten to cancel our tutoring sessions.
Nancy, hey!
Hi, look, I won't be needing any more tutoring sessions. I'm moving back to China.
Wait, what? You're leaving?
Yes, and I don't know when I'll be back. You made the right choice not to kiss me at the concert. We would have both ended up hurt. Everyone I've ever been close to in my life has done me wrong or got separated from me. You were right to protect your heart, Gavin.
He stared at me with sad eyes, and I couldn't bear being around him anymore. I went back to the house so I could secretly pack my bags and leave home. But that night, Mom knocked on my door.
Do you have a minute?
What's going on? What's in that box?
Your 18th birthday is tomorrow, so I made you a present.
Oh man, my birthday. I'd completely forgotten. What's this?
You asked why I was collecting strands of your hair. Well, it was to make a quilt with something called dong tai hair embroidery. It's an old Chinese practice. You sew hair strands onto a piece of white silk. My grandmother started a tradition where a mother would embroider a piece, pass it down to their daughter, who would continue the work and keep working on it until it was finished. Then the next daughter in line would receive the quilts as a gift. And that's you.
I was shocked. Mom hated me. There was no reason she'd want me a part of any family tradition.
I don't even remember the last time you gave me any presents, let alone something like this.
Well, it's your 18th birthday, and it's an old family practice. My mother used to tell me back when we were close that she wanted me to continue it. And you are my daughter after all.
Mom hugged me awkwardly, and I tried to feel happy. Maybe I didn't have to run away from home after all. My mother loved me, but I still couldn't sleep that night. I felt in my gut something was off, that Mom didn't give me that blanket for the reasons I thought she did. Suddenly, I heard voices coming from the other room that sounded like a FaceTime conversation.
I can't believe you made me go through all that work to give Nancy that dung tie blanket. She barely even said thank you. I shouldn't even have to ask you to pass that blanket down to your own daughter. I had to offer to take Nancy for the summer so you'd agree to do it, like I haven't already passed down enough to her. Nancy is prettier than I ever was and won more pageants than I ever did. I did what you told me. I gave her the stupid quilt. What more do you want from me?
Well, that all made more sense. Of course, Mom hadn't changed. And of course, she hadn't grown to love me. I refused to speak to both her and Dad that week. And one night, after Mom went to sleep, I threw the dung tie quilt into the fire with my strands of hair and 2 generations worth of work. At school, I still saw Gavin, but I avoided him too. After all, I told him I was leaving the country on the last day of the semester. I was taking my finals, but I was panicking because I didn't know any of the answers. I tried to calm myself with deep breaths, when suddenly some kids ran in.
Miss Benson, someone broke into your car.
And that's when Gavin walked in and sat next to me.
We only have like 2 minutes tops. Give me your test. I'll finish it for you.
No, Gavin, I can't ask you to do that.
But he'd already taken my test and was filling in the answers.
Why was he helping me?
So obviously you didn't move to China in the end.
No, not yet, but I still might, just to get away from everything and everybody. I don't understand, Gavin. Why did you do this for me?
Because I still care about you. I know I wasn't ready to kiss you that night at the concert, but part of me regrets that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't want my parents' divorce to scare me away from falling in love. You told me that night, nothing is worth living in fear for.
Gavin pulled me close and I felt my heart skip a beat.
Maybe you're right, Gavin. Because my mom didn't know how to love me doesn't mean there aren't other people out there who do.
You mean, like me?
Slow down, buddy. We're not there yet.
I leaned over and kissed him right then. For the first time in ages, I walked home feeling happy. But when I entered the house, I found Mom sitting in front of the fireplace crying.
I can't believe you burnt the family quilt, a 3-generation quilt.
It wasn't a 3-generation quilt because you were never gonna pass it down to me. You only did it because Dad told you to. You know what? I'm done putting up with this. I'm moving out of this house. I'm not gonna live with you anymore.
That summer, Dad let me stay with him in China, as he promised, and Gavin and I applied to the same college and got in. Even after returning to the US, I didn't see Mom, and I also blocked her phone number. But one night at college, I was awake studying when I got a freaking message from Mom on TikTok begging me to call her.
Oh, honey, I'm so glad you called. I've been wanting to talk to you and make amends for a while.
Too late for that. Mom, I really don't have time to talk. I have midterms tomorrow.
Nancy, you didn't let me finish. I've been seeing a therapist and working through my issues. I want to be better. I want a fresh start.
Well, I am glad to hear you're finally getting help. I know you've been suffering for a while, but I can't just forget the way you've treated me all those years. Maybe one day I can forgive you. I just don't know when that'll be.
I understand. Well, if you ever do want to start over, my home is always open to you. I love you, and I'm sorry about everything.
Thanks, Mom. I've always wanted to hear those words from you. Hi, my name is Lucy. And before in a story, please like and subscribe. Do you know the feeling of having an annoying sister in your life who was just there to ruin everything for you? Well, mine is a psycho-jealous sister. She used my condition against me, but I got rid of her eventually. You see, I was born to super rich parents who owned more than half the city, and after I was born, they just went crazy with happiness. On my first tooth party, my dad organized a water park party for all the kids, but when Mom brought me outside, I started yelling, and my skin turned super red like blood. Luckily, there was a doctor in the crowd, and he came running to help. I was diagnosed with extreme photosensitivity that would only increase as I aged. Basically, I could never step out in the sun without getting burned. After that, my parents always kept me indoors during the day, and all the windows were covered with black curtains. Once when I was 4, I cried and said, "I want to go to school and have friends."
Oh, honey, you can't. But we'll bring them both to you.
We'll hire private teachers for you and we'll get you a pet.
They got me a really cute hamster, and he was kind of my best friend. All was good until my little sister was born. Her name was Zoe, and she was pure evil. I discovered she was jealous of me once she turned 3. She knew about my condition, but she was still angry that my parents paid more attention to me. On her 3rd birthday, she got me a piece of candy with a candle on it and said,
"Now this candle will burn you."
"No, honey, I'm only allergic to the sun, not candles."
"Oh, so it won't hurt you? Well then, okay."
And with that, she threw the candle on my bed, and the blanket instantly caught fire. I started yelling for my parents, and I almost got hurt getting out of the room. Once when I was 8, Zoe threw a tantrum that she wanted to be homeschooled like me. But, of course, my parents refused. What made things worse was what happened on my 10th birthday, when my parents invited everyone to a super fancy restaurant at night. One sophisticated lady saw me and said to Mom,
"Oh, your daughter is very pretty. Like, too pretty. But the other 10, she's not pretty, like, at all."
Oh, yes, the youngest one is just ugly. I wonder if she'll ever get married.
Just then, Zoe stood up and flung juice straight at the women's faces. Then she turned to me.
"You just wait and watch, Lucy. I'm going to make you wish you were the ugliest girl on the planet. You'll be praying to God to make you ugly."
That night, I was sleeping when I heard a noise. I opened my eyes and saw Zoe holding a big poster with a drawing of her. Something like she was pranking someone.
"Do you see this eye? It's yours, babe. But one day it's going to be mine."
I stood up and pushed her away and locked the door behind her. She was a total psycho. Over the coming years, Zoe just wouldn't understand that I got special treatment because of my condition. I tried to reason with her, so I thought maybe throwing a party where we could both invite her friends would help us get closer. What a stupid decision that was. I was 13 back then and invited the only 2 friends I had, Mark and Emily, while Zoe invited half the school. Suddenly, during the party, Zoe stood in front of everyone holding up a drawing I'd made. It was the 3 of us, me, Mark, and Emily.
Listen here, everyone. So our Princess Lucy can draw. But she also has a little secret. Let me read it for you. "I'm so in love with Mark, but I also love Emily. I will soon ask them both out and kiss them both at the same time. I will kidnap Emily if she rejects me. We will be the happiest lovers triangle."
Everyone went silent, and Mark and Emily turned red. I couldn't believe my sister would lie like that. "No, you liar. I didn't write that. You just came up with it. Why are you so evil?"
"Why? Are you so perfect?"
"I'm not Zoe. I wish I was normal. Just like
you. Oh, like me. You wish I would never have a boyfriend and a girlfriend at the same time? That's just shameless. You do that to the only 2 people who like you? That's just dumb and gross."
Just stop it. Just then, Mike took Emily's hand and left. I was so shocked and embarrassed that I didn't even stop them. I just went to my room and locked the door, and the party continued like nothing had happened. After that day, I knew I had to teach Zoe a lesson, and I knew that the best way to tease her was to live my life to the fullest. The very next day, I invited Mark over. When he came to my room, I made sure to leave the door open so Zoe could hear everything. "Mark, I'm really sorry about last night. You know that my sister is—"
Listen, Lucy, I don't believe a word your psycho sister says, but I was just too embarrassed to say, so I left.
I put my finger on his mouth and pulled him closer to kiss him. "Will you be my boyfriend, Mark?" He said yes, and we hugged. Then I heard Zoe's room door close very hard in her face, which for the next 2 years, Zoe was always making it obvious how jealous she was of me for having a boyfriend. She even tried to break into my room several times. Once she used a knife to open it, but luckily I was ready. I attacked her with pepper spray and ran to my parents. Once, she brought home a boy who was 4 years older than her. Dad totally lost it and kicked him out. My parents were getting so tired of her craziness, but the last straw was when she called the police at midnight once. To my horror, she slipped her t-shirt off her shoulder to show scratches on her skin, and she pointed accusingly at Mark.
That boy, he's dangerous. He attacked me. I barely managed to escape.
What? My parents told the cops that she was making it all up, and Mark would never do such a thing. Gosh, if you're so jealous, just get yourself a boyfriend. You ugly psycho bimbo! I expected her to say something harsh, but instead, she started crying and fell on her knees. She looked up pleadingly at the cops.
See how my family treats me? Just take me away from them. Please help me. Please save me.
What an actress! The next morning, my parents took Zoe to a psychologist. It turned out my sister had some issues and needed therapy every few days, but she didn't take that so well. After a few days, when I got back from my date with Mark, I found Zoe had prepared meat sandwiches for me. What did she want to poison me? I said no and went to my room. I wanted to feed my little hamster, but I didn't find him there. I started looking everywhere. Then it hit me. Oh my God! I ran back to her. Where is my hamster?
I don't know.
What did you do to my hamster?
I don't know.
Mom, Dad, Zoe ate my hamster. And then I passed out. When I woke up, my parents told me that they had talked to Zoe's doctor and she might be admitted to a psychiatric ward. I wasn't really happy to hear that, but I knew it was for everyone's safety. A month later, Zoe was gone and transferred to that hospital. Life was good, and I had the best time with Mark and Emily for years. It was the day of my graduation. I was so in love with Mark that I wanted to marry him right away, even though we were so young. He agreed, and my parents suggested he move in with us, so we did. During the day, Mark would leave for college, and I would stay home. One day, I called for the maids to get me something to eat, but no one responded. I went downstairs and found no one. Then I heard a familiar voice. I was sure it was the voice of my hamster, but it seemed to be coming from the backyard. I thought I'd just take a quick look, and it wouldn't hurt me, but I just popped my head out the door when suddenly someone pulled me out with all their force.
Hey, miss me? Sister?
What are you doing here?
Oh well, they decided to let me go. I feel much better, actually. You really thought your hamster came back to life? Are you still that dumb? You spoiled Daddy's girl.
And then she pulled me out more, and I was under direct sunlight. It started to hurt my skin, and I screamed. Then I attacked her. One of the maids heard us and came running. When Zoe saw her, she let me go and ran away. Thankfully, I wasn't hurt, and my parents told me that Zoe had run away from the asylum, and they were looking for her now. I was sad about how things had turned out in my family, but my sadness was short-lived because I soon found out that I was pregnant. And 9 months later, I gave birth at home to my beautiful daughter, and I named her Sally. When Sally started to crawl, we all knew she was a really curious, naughty baby. Once she crawled out the kitchen door and out into the backyard, and she was completely quiet. I got scared and ran after her with the maids. When I got there, I saw another basket next to her and a freaking baby in it. It was a boy. The note next to him said, "This is Josh, your nephew. I gave birth to him months ago and wanted to raise him but discovered that was hard. So I sent him to you. Lucy, take care of him, I guess." I looked at the baby's face and tears rolled down my cheeks. I kissed his forehead. This Zoe was full of surprises. When I was about to shut the door and run to my parents, someone pushed it against me. It was Zoe.
Oh, you're crying?
And she pulled me into the backyard again. Thankfully, the maids were able to catch her and call the police. Zoe was sent to jail this time, and I got a restraining order. Me and my family were finally safe. And baby Josh? Yeah, he was hers, and he lived with us. I raised him like mine. And snap! Now I have 4 kids, and we are a happy family. After 10 years of trying to get pregnant, the woman finally got the great news. But her happiness was short-lived. The doctor looked straight into her eyes and said,
"Ma'am, your baby has Down syndrome."
Months later, she delivered the baby, and it was me, born completely normal and 100% healthy. Everyone said it was a miracle, and that's what my name means. Hi, I'm Nessa from Alabama. But before I continue my amazing story, click like and subscribe. My dad had a mechanics workshop, and I hardly saw him because he worked so much all the time. Even though Mom came from a rich background, she never helped Dad with money.
Isn't that God's will? A man has to sweat and earn his bread and provide for his family. If you want to eat, you better put food on the table.
Once when I was 3, Mom and I visited him at the workshop. He was fixing a car and asking me to hand him the plier. I didn't know what it was, so I just picked up the entire toolbox and put it in front of him. He was shocked.
How did you do that, Nessa?
Just like that, Daddy? It's easy.
Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh, my daughter. No, it's like you're my son.
Why are you looking so happy, idiot? I don't want a manly daughter. Girls aren't supposed to be delicate. This is what I get. After 10 years of waiting, I'm taking her to the doctor.
The doctor said I was exceptionally strong because my muscle strength and testosterone levels were higher than most girls. But Mom just kept calling me a freak. She decided to leave me with Dad every day at work to help him make more money. 2 years later, Mom gave birth to my little sister, Ella. But she was born with the Down syndrome the doctors had predicted for me. The minute we saw Ella, Dad and I were in love with her. And we made sure she didn't feel different growing up. But Mom just couldn't stop complaining about us.
Why is God so mad at me? First, you came out really weird, and now Ella. I must have done something terrible in my life that I'm getting punished for.
She was trying to feed Ella as she whined nonstop. And suddenly, Ella spat out all the food on her face. Gosh, I loved that kid. Mom also didn't allow us to watch YouTube videos because she said it was a sin to do anything fun. She blocked YouTube. But I found an amazing app that can solve it. I took Ella to my room, and we watched videos all night long. One day, when I was at Dad's workshop, a bus suddenly stopped in front of us, and a man jumped off.
Oh my God, girl! Are you for real? You just lifted those big tires all by yourself? I'm already seeing you as an Olympic weightlifting champion.
The man introduced himself as a sports coach and asked me to join his school in California. He also gave Dad his card and said he'd be waiting for us to tell him when we could leave. Dad was so excited for me, and I felt like I'd just won the lottery. But when I told Mom, she flipped out.
Are you crazy? I'm not trusting a stranger and leaving the place and the wealth God's given me here. No one is going anywhere.
I was super bummed at Mom's reaction, but then little Ella came up to me with a solution.
What if Mom has nothing? Let's throw all her money away.
OMG, Ella, you're a genius. Yes, let's donate Mom's money to charity. I found a charity organization and filled out all the forms online. But suddenly, I started to lose my nerve. Maybe this isn't such a good idea, Ella. I don't think we should do this.
Yes, we should.
With that, she clicked on enter, and in a second, Mom lost all her money. Even Dad's workshop was in her name, and it was gone. She threw the biggest tantrum ever, and even threatened the organization to return her money. But they refused, and there was nothing she could do about it. Angry and frustrated, she finally agreed to the last option, going to Cali. And she never knew it was us. When we got there, the coach showed us a small house for rent. He also assured us that he'd get special scholarships for Ella and me, and we'd be going to the same school.
How can you be happy about this, Nessa? You know how Ella is. What am I supposed to do? Go to school with her and guard her from the bullies?
You don't need to do that, Mom. I'll handle it. She's mine. On the first day of school, I dropped Ella in her classroom. When I entered mine, I saw no teacher there, but a girl was catwalking in front of everyone. As I tried to slide past her, she stepped on my foot with her pointed heels. I yelped in pain, but she started yelling at me instead of saying, "Sorry."
You idiot! Why did you bomb my show? I was rehearsing for the beauty pageant contest.
Oh, your show. I thought this was a classroom, not a stage.
Well, you thought wrong. I'm the queen of the school, and I make the rules. And I say the whole world's my stage.
Wow, she seemed crazy and really full of herself. Later that day, Ella and I were eating lunch in the cafeteria when Auntie came over and said we were sitting at her table. Just then, she saw Ella and she started laughing.
Oh, you didn't say you have a sister? Well, I can see why. I mean, you must be so embarrassed by her.
Shut up, Auntie. You're just embarrassing yourself.
You can't talk to me like that. I told you, I'm the queen here, the hottest girl in school.
Why do you have a fever?
I think she does. Ella, let's help her feel better. And with that, I threw a glass of ice-cold water in her face. The whole cafeteria burst into laughter while Auntie screamed and stormed off. So many people thought Ella was adorable and wanted to be friends with her. Meanwhile, I also started weightlifting practice, and the coach was stunned to see me lifting heavier weights than the boys on the team. One day when I came out of the gym, I saw Ella standing with a sad face outside the dance room. I asked her what had happened, and she cried out,
I don't want to be here. These girls are mean. They don't want me on the team.
I barged into the dance room, and I wasn't surprised to see Auntie there. Hey, why did you tell my sister she can't be on the dance team? What's wrong with her?
What's wrong? Are you blind? It's obvious she can't do fast moves with us, and we don't have forever to teach her. Now be off with your DD dumb sister.
I totally lost it. I walked over to their sound system, pushed over the big speakers, and wrenched out all the wires. As Ella and I walked out, she turned around and locked the door from the outside. That was an awesome moment. But we got caught and ended up in detention. And Mom went nuts when she found out.
God, I knew this would happen. Ella is not like everyone, and she can't be with everyone. You were unkind to that girl, and that makes you two sinners. I'm going to go pray now. I don't want to go to hell with you.
Our daughters are not unkind. I'm sure there was a good reason.
But before he could finish, Mom just pushed him aside and stormed off. Mom is just terrible. The next day at school, I looked for Ella during recess and I couldn't find her anywhere. I was running all over the place, feeling panic rise inside. Where could she be? Just then, I spotted a grand piano in the corridor, blocking the janitor's closet. As I stepped closer, I heard Ella crying out for help. Oh my God! Ella, I'm here! I'll get you out, sweetie! With one big push, I swept the piano out of the way and opened the door. Poor Ella came tumbling out in my arms, crying like crazy.
Auntie told me to go inside.
I was gonna destroy that witch. I stormed off to the dance room with Ella, and before I could get to Auntie, Ella ran straight at her, pushing her aside. They both landed on the floor, and just then, a beam fell off the roof exactly where Auntie was standing seconds ago. Oh my God, Ella had just saved Auntie.
I saw it was falling, so
How dare you touch me, you moron! I don't want your disease rubbing off on me!
That was the last straw. I walked up to Auntie and gave her a hard slap. You're a heartless bully, Auntie. You think she's weaker than you, so you pick on her. But here, she is saving your stupid butt after everything you've done. She's got more heart and strength than you ever will. And you could learn a thing or two from her. We all could. Because Ella is freaking amazing. Just then, I turned to see lots of kids had followed us into the dance room, and they were all clapping and cheering for Ella. Everyone started to boo Auntie, and she ran off crying. When we got home, I couldn't wait to tell our parents what a hero Ella had been. But we found the two fighting loudly.
I'm not putting up with your embarrassing daughters anymore. My church friends say they are weirdos. Do you know how that makes me feel? I'll stay only if we give them up for adoption. Decide.
That is the easiest decision I've ever had to make. You're a selfish, horrible woman, and you don't know how to love anyone. So please, for the love of God, get out.
Wow! Dad finally spoke up. Mom shouted and cried, but Dad just threw her bags out on the street, and our lives at home became so much happier. The next day when we were leaving school, Auntie suddenly leapt out from behind a tree and spat at Ella. I was about to attack her, when suddenly a well-dressed man stepped in and grabbed Auntie's arm.
What did I just see? Auntie, I can't believe it! How could you be so cruel to this child? You're grounded for a very long time, and you're off the dance team.
Dad, you can't do that!
Keep talking, and I'll ask the principal to expel you myself. Apologize now.
Well, the queen bee finally bowed her head. Also, it turned out that Nancy's dad was a big-shot doctor, and he offered to take over all of Ella's medical bills and help out with any therapy she needed. When Mom heard that Ella wouldn't be expensive now, she contacted us by saying that she was sorry, and she always knew we were special. But we told her to leave us alone. After a year of training, the coach said it was my time to shine. He entered me into many weightlifting competitions, And my medal collection has just begun. And I always have my biggest supporter cheering me on.